How's it going, everyone? I am Nick from Goto.game, joined by JackHuddo, head of Goto.game. And in this video, we're going to talk about some gaming and esports news for March 2022. Let's jump into it. So in the first topic of discussion, we're going to be talking about the Steam Deck, which launched on Feb 25th. I don't know about you, Huddo. I've kind of been keeping an eye on it because I've kind of got, I've got a Switch. I've played a lot of mobile games, and I've even with like Xbox Game Pass now, being able to play those games on mobile, NVIDIA GeForce Now on mobile, and or like being able to play these games elsewhere, not just on your desktop. What are your thoughts on the whole Steam Deck, being able to play your Steam games on a handheld device?
It's cool. It's really cool. It's hugely game changing in a terrible way to say it, terrible pun. But I think it's really cool. It isn't really something that I'll probably get involved in. It looks cool. It looks amazing. It kind of gives me like PSP vibes, which I love, because back in the day I was like, I need to get a PSP, but I never did. My stepbrother had one. I used that, and that was really, really cool. So I don't know. I'm keen to see what happens. I'm keen to see like kind of what the costing is. I haven't really had a look at that yet. So if you have that there for me, please let me know. I would love that. But yeah, it just looks mad. I think it's really exciting. And yeah, for people that want to play games out and about, they want to, they're traveling, they're on the train every day, things like that. I think this will be a huge game changer for sure. It'll switch it up from the Switch, switch it up from playing on your mobile, and I think being able to play like games directly from Steam and things you can't play elsewhere, I think is very cool. It doesn't really work for me. I don't really play much besides being on my PC at all. I don't really have time as of yet, but hopefully one day I'll be sitting on the couch thinking, you know what? I need to play something. I don't want to play anything on my mobile. Grab myself a bloody Steam Deck. Steam Deck. You'll be cool. What about you?
Yeah.
What are your thoughts? You've been watching it. I know we talked about it before, and I know you brought it up, but what are your kind of initial thoughts? Are you getting one? What's the go?
Yeah, I don't know. I think it's kind of, I don't remember the last time I played my handheld device as a handheld device. Even the Switch is docked 90% of the time. Like, it's connected via HDMI to capture color to the TV, right? Maybe I just don't go out enough to use it. Like, I don't commute enough on public transport. I don't, it's kind of not, I'm not the target audience for this product. I do see benefit though in being able to play your game, your save file anywhere, right? And we talked about this before as well. It's like, I can jump into a single player game on Xbox, like say Halo Infinite. And if I'm on the cloud for that type of game, I can then bring the same save game across to any platform, be it my PC, my laptop, my mobile phone, all through Microsoft account, and it's all connected through the cloud. That's something that I'm really like. I can't believe that it's here. Like, I'm gone are the days where like I'm exporting save files from one device to another. And to make sure I can keep the same thing consistent. Like, I used to have this app, I can't remember what it was called, where it would sync with my game save files and would upload it to my Google Drive, and then it would re-download it from my Google Drive onto another computer. Like, I remember doing that. And now it's just like, it's all done for you, which is a massive quality of life thing. And I think it's something that is going to be beneficial for gamers, especially with so many games around. I don't know, like, you've probably seen on Twitter lately, there are a lot of like backlogs of games of people that haven't been able to play.
Yeah.
And there's so many different things.
A lot of people have been talking about it. Just like having a full-time job, having kids, having hobbies. Some people have a full-time job and then stream full-time hours like I do as well. And like, I'm not a variety streamer. So I think it comes down to that point as well. Like, a lot of these people that are creating their own content as a hobby, they're probably sticking to a single game because that's what they create content on, and they have to spend all their time doing that. So being able to, have some time on the couch or have some time in bed at night or on the train to work, like being able to just smash through some of the games you've been wanting to play, I think is going to be huge.
Yeah, 100%. And like, this is where I think it's going. It's like, there's going to be more games accessible to more people across multiple platforms. You're going to not have to worry about your save files because they're going to be available to you at all times. And you'll just be able to play the games whenever, wherever. so that you've got 10 minutes here, like while you're waiting for the doctor, or while you're waiting for the train, while you're waiting for the Uber to come back. Like you can jump in and just play your game real quick without having to boot your PC up, start Steam, do all of that. You could just have it on the Steam Deck and get it going. I do need to double check because I don't know how. How I guess there's some you can kind of stream your Steam games to multiple devices already based off of like the Steam Link kind of scenario where like if you're on the same network you can do that.
Right.
I need to look into this a little bit more, but the whole like purpose of like taking it with you, going on places, does it need to reference or link to your home PC? I don't know the answer to that. Like I need to look into that a little bit more.
Yeah. True.
But there are reviews and everything coming out for the Steam Deck. Keep an eye out for them everywhere. I'm really interested to see how this goes. I don't know. I don't really have an answer for that. If I'm on Steam, I'm on my PC. That's where I sit. Single player games might be more beneficial on the Steam Deck, like Elden Ring. You can see in some of the features there. Any of the indie games as well could be really beneficial on there. Really interested to see how that goes.
Yeah. We'll keep an eye on it. Maybe we'll do an update soon. Maybe when you get your hands on one, do our own review.
Do our own review? Yes. Yeah. Hey, Valve, send us a Steam Deck. Thanks.
Hell yeah! When this YouTube channel blows up, maybe.
And a new update from PlayStation Plus for their March games. We've got Ark Survival Evolved, Team Sonic Racing, and Ghost Runner. You can see which platforms these are on. So Ghost Runner is coming to the PS5, Ark Survival Evolved coming to PS4, Sonic Team Sonic, Team Sonic Racing. We'll get that right eventually on the PlayStation 4. And then Ghost of Tsushima on the PlayStation 5 and 4 as a bonus. And I think this as Legends, I think it's the multiplayer add-on for Ghost of Tsushima. So that's something that I want to get back into that. Ooh. Yeah, I want to get back into that and then try that out for sure. Because Ghost of Tsushima is one game that I played a little bit of, and I picked it up on sale, right? I didn't buy it day one, and I kind of picked it up on sale, went through it, and just it's now a backlog game. Like I need to go back, and I think we're talking about it before in the Steam Deck, like just time, like more time for those games or like other things that come up. I tend to go to other things or like new things come out, and you kind of get to that real quick, and then you never go back. And so now I've actually got. I spent some time over the weekend after seeing everyone talk about backlogs. I've actually got my own Asana board now with all of my games on which platform and where.
No, you don't.
I do. I'll show you after this. I do. I went through. I'm like, I really want to play these games. I need to actually schedule. All right, for the month of March, I'm going to play this game for this period of time.
That's the nerdiest thing I've heard you say in a very long time.
I need it, bro. Like,
but I also respect it.
If you open up my mind, it would look like Asana. I think that's the just like lots of columns. Rows of columns and tasks. And if anything goes out of order and it's not linked, I just get this like massive OCD about it. Yeah. So my games now, I'm trying to schedule time for which ones I'm going to play for backlog and try to clear those.
Hell yeah!
Exciting though.
Night. We got Ghost of Tsushima multiplayer experience to play.
Yeah.
It's on the Asana. Didn't you not look at it?
Yeah. If it's not on Asana, it's not happening.
Exactly.
I'll just start
tonight. Check the Asana.
Check the Asana or like Google Invites. I'll start sending you Google Invites and be like, hey, I'm reserving my time for this.
Yeah. That's it. Man, I wanna get back into Ark with all the new stuff coming.
Yeah.
It looks sick. It really does.
How much did you play Ark when it? Yeah, me too. Like it was the game for a long time.
Like a fair bit, and then it just dropped off for me as a game, and I haven't really gone back to it. But with all the updates, so cool.
There was some Ark cool. RP servers at one point. I don't know if they're still around.
I don't know. They seem pretty loose to me. I don't know. I don't know about jumping on there. I love some Ark videos though, so. Yeah, that's the thing. Yeah. Like, I'm not really one to play a lot of games. I know about a lot of games because I watch them and I watch the reviews and so they come out and I watch people streaming them and stuff like that. But I just haven't like played them and experienced them myself. So I think that was the one thing that I really want to try and do. But I've been trying to do that for years and it hasn't happened. So who knows? Maybe one day.
Yeah, this is actually a really good point, right? Is like I had this thought. It's like, do I need to play a video game now to have the experience of the video game, or could I just watch someone that I trust and
Yeah.
get their opinion for the video game? And if I want to play it, I will.
It's
Like
true.
right, like I kind
That
of it's
makes you
kind of like
think.
I have you ever seen like Gogglebox
Yeah,
on
oh, yeah,
TV?
yeah, 100%. Yeah, great
Right,
show.
it's basic. It's based. I watched let's say all seasons of Gogglebox, and I would say it consolidated the past 7+ years of Australian television into less than 9 seasons. I didn't have to. I haven't
True.
been watching Australian TV, so there's a lot of stuff
Mhm.
that comes out on TV that I don't watch that Gogglebox then consolidates, and they get their expression. And it's the same as Twitch and YouTube, right? You get YouTubers doing their reviews or doing their playthroughs, and you kind of play the game through their experience. I
That's true.
I feel like there's this big shift now where I don't have to play the games to actually understand what's happening with the game. If I want
Mhm.
to get that experience myself or find my own experience, I can kind of do that. But
Mhm.
sometimes I find there's maybe more enjoyment in me watching someone play the game than actually playing the game itself or having the time to play the game itself. Right?
Do you
What are your
think
thoughts on that?
though? Do you think that just say something like as nostalgic as Minecraft, or even going back further than that, Pokemon Snap on the 64, or GoldenEye,
Mm,
or
mm.
whatever a game is that you played in a very long time ago that is super nostalgic, that you could sit there and say to yourself, if I could relive a game, it would be that game because of how it makes you
Mm.
feel emotionally, all that sort of stuff. Do you think, let's just say I'd never played Minecraft, but I'd watched the same amount of hours of someone else playing it that I've actually played it now. Do you think you would have the same nostalgia for the game?
I, it's a really good question. To me, nostalgia is all about experience and memory, right? And
That's
if you're a
exactly
part
right.
of
But is
right,
that
yeah,
is that you experiencing and the memory of you playing that, or could you have the same feeling
yeah, yeah.
of watching someone go through that experience and you kind of be there for that as well?
A lot of my greatest memories are with friends, like community,
True.
right?
Okay.
So,
Yep.
it would be dependent on who you're with. Like, if you're experiencing it in game with your friendship group, and like your perfect example, right? One of our close friends, they've been building and got their own save file on a Minecraft map.
Mhm.
That's I literally saw it yesterday. Was um, 0210 2012. So it's been around
No
since
way.
2012, and it's a creative map that they built from then, right? So every since for 10 years almost, they've been building on a creative map and just slowly incrementing things over time, block by block. It's not coded, it's not anything. They've literally jumped in controllers or PC, and they've migrated the map from old Xbox like
I was going to
360
say,
to
did they keep the updates going and then kind of move and
yeah.
generate, build,
They've
move
just
and
chucked it on
generate?
Realms. They've just chucked it on Realms.
Wow.
Yeah. So that to me is like
No
the
way.
moment, right? That's a big thing, like where it differentiates from just watching, I think.
Yeah.
Like I've been involved and seen I've done a little bit. I haven't done too much in the map, right? But I've been around when it's been developed. I've been able to see
Hmm.
it from version 1 to where it is now. And
Yeah.
being able to jump in versus watch someone do it. I think it's very different. But you still have things like TV shows where there's a whole community around the TV show, right?
Yeah.
That's
100%.
that's also another portion of, we've got gamers that actually play the game and enjoy it and have the same thing. I've kind of felt like I've lived through the Elden Ring community by just watching all of this Elden Ring content.
Hmm.
Like you see all
True.
these people posting Twitter clips and be like, "Oh, this is a gaming moment and hilarious moment," or like buggy moment or something happening. Like
Mm.
I haven't actually played the game yet, but I can now feel like I'm part of that through them.
Yeah, I agree. I definitely agree. I don't know. It's a weird question. Maybe that's the question
Yeah,
for this episode.
yeah, yeah.
Would
We can
nostalgia feel the
definitely do.
same if you weren't playing it, but watching the content?
Moving on to Xbox now. So Xbox also has its Game Pass March games coming up. Uh, I'm a big advocate for the Xbox Game Pass. I also have PlayStation. I haven't played as many of the
I know, you
PlayStation things
talk
lately.
about the Xbox Game Pass every day.
Oh yeah. There's something
All
on
the time.
there. It's like I bring it up a lot now. Is that
Mm.
Elden Ring? What other games have come out that I haven't bought? Elden Ring, Horizon, several other single player games. About $80 each, right? $80 each at the moment, Australian dollars. That's nearly 200 Australian dollars for me to complete or play, even get access to these games. Whereas Xbox Game Pass, I'm paying less than $20 a month Australian, and I get access to the whole like a large catalog, and I can
That's
jump in,
massive.
jump out whenever I want, right? And that's the big thing for me. Is like the value for money is there, and that's something I have to justify paying the $80 now for most
Yeah.
games. But coming back to Xbox Game Pass, we've got Microsoft Flight Simulator, which is out already, but it's now hitting cloud service. So you're going to be able to play this on anything on cloud, mobile, desktop, or tablet or laptop.
That
Microsoft
is
Flight
cool to
Simulator
hear,
on mobile.
because that game's
right?
like 200 gig or something, isn't it?
Yeah. So now I don't have to re-download it, because I think I uninstalled it to install something else. Now I could play it potentially on cloud. I want to see how it performs.
Cool.
If it performs well with like latency issues, no latency issues, then it's going to be amazing.
True,
Again,
I agree.
like we mentioned before, cloud syncing to your save files, so you'll be able to play the same thing for Microsoft Simulator across everything, which is amazing. Another big one that people are talking about is Guardians of the Galaxy. I never picked up this game. Again, it's something that I lived through other people playing the game, or watched them play. It didn't grab me as much, but it's getting recognition. So it's bringing up, like, now that it's on Xbox Game Pass, or coming to, I think it's pretty soon, actually. Double check the date. March 10th. It's now, I have the option to play it, which is something that I don't think I had before, right? I didn't justify spending the $50, $60 for getting this game. Now I can just play it as a part of something that I'm already connected to.
I agree.
The next one is Far Changing Tides. I haven't played. I think this is the next edition of the Far game. It's a very, it's a really nice artistic style.
Just looks very artistic, right? It looks so cool. I haven't played anything in the series, but like I've seen it. So I think it's another one of those things. It's like I haven't played it, but I understand it, and I understand the emotions that it brings out in people. And like I've seen it, and I know how your mind has to kind of process the puzzles and navigating the landscape and stuff like that. So that just looks cool to me. Like that looks like a beautiful game, and I imagine the soundtrack on that game is going to be
really nice,
wild.
Yeah,
absolutely wild.
It's like, reminds me of is it Ori and the Blind Forest is one that I always saw and played a little bit of. That it kind of it's got that similar like platformer feel, like puzzle-ish feel as well. Do you wanna get an Xbox One to do lawn mowing simulator?
Oh, dude.
Get the mower out.
Yeah, we could. That could be fun. Just have
you played any of those, like farm simulator, mowing simulator? Have you played any of those?
Bro, back in the day, probably like 6-7 years ago, I had a farming simulator let's play on my YouTube channel.
Nice. Yeah,
I used to shred that game. I used to have all the best shit. I used to have the biggest plots. Like I used to have so much fun with farming simulator, just going around and like plowing land and then seeding it and then watering it. It was actually so much fun. It really was. And then I saw that there was like farming simulator like tournaments and shit. I'm like, no way.
They did like a whole esports thing around it. Yeah.
Dude, it's proper crazy. But I've watched people play Lawnmower Simulator, and it just looks funny. Like it looks fun. Like mowing the lawn is just one of those tasks that has to be done, but it's fun. Like not everybody would find it fun, but I genuinely enjoy mowing the lawn. So I think like being able to sit here and do it without getting dirty and without having to have a shower after it and all that shit, I think it'd be awesome. I've seen it played, and it looks funny. You've got to like do it properly to get more money and all that stuff and upgrade your gear. Like I think it's great.
I jumped into PC Builder Simulator for a little bit because that and you literally had to like, unscrew all the components
Yeah.
and re-put them in, and then like I diagnose things on the PC. Like it had really interesting. Like
The same as
I've
car
come
build.
from
The car build
yeah,
simulator.
right.
Same thing.
It's
Yeah, it's cool.
they just like they get the detail right. I think is really
Yeah.
interesting. They like
Yeah.
understand. All right, this is the process in order to get to this thing, and then you literally just there clicking away at like getting it done. Um, I don't know. Like I feel maybe in future this is the better way to educate people on real life scenarios, real life tools. Like imagine learning or getting an
True.
engineering or mechanics degree by just playing car simulator, but like officially certified car simulator, where
Yeah.
they
Like that's what you
develop
do
the
at your
whole
uni
thing through
course or
that
your TAFE
process.
course.
Exactly. Imagine learning that way. Like to me, that is incredible.
Yeah.
Like I said this before. It's like a lot of sport games, NHL, NFL. I've learned the rules because I've played the game first.
Yeah.
So now I can watch an actual game, like a proper NHL game, and understand what's going on because I've played the video game for a long time. Like, imagine building that out in real life tasks or mechanics or engineering or even Kerbal Space Program for me, right? Like that was that was a whole nother rocket science,
Yeah.
legit rocket science on Kerbal Space Program, which is
Well,
yeah,
it goes back to what we've brought up before, like the sim racing people, like world champion sim drifter goes and drives a real life, 800 horsepower or probably more than that, 1,000 horsepower S15 drift car, and
Yeah.
literally just gets in it and absolutely shreds it. And the thing is, he normally drove left hand drive, and the S15 was right hand drive, and he'd never driven right hand drive before. Got in it
Yeah.
and absolutely just demolished this track. And the world champion real drifter that was his car was in there just hyping him up. Like, literally didn't have to tell him anything. He just said, get comfortable with it, figure it out, do your thing, and I'll just be here if you have any questions. And he just murdered this track. And then he ended up doing tandems, like door-to-door tandems with the real life professional drifter. And he was a sim drifter, never drifted a car in his life. And it's like, if that can happen, like surely you could, learn and have an in-depth lawn simulator that is certified, that you play, and it literally teaches you how to cut an edge, what different types of grass is, what fertilizer to use, blah, blah, blah. I don't know really much about lawn or mowing, but, if it gets to that stage, like how to ride the lawnmower, what each levers do, what, which grass you need to cut at which height or whatever. Like, I am sure that someone out there that knows this field or knows these spaces back to front could, really help build something that could be certified in like a uni course or a TAFE course, and people could legitimately learn from it. I think that would be mind blowing. Meeting someone that like, oh, how'd you do this? Oh, I went to uni and we learned this through, a certified lawn mowing simulator, but is now running a super successful lawn mowing company, and their lawns and garden care is immaculate. Like that to me would be just some next level shit. Absolutely crazy. And I don't think it's impossible. Like, it really isn't.
No, definitely not. It's like there. It's really close. It's like you just need one company to certify and say this is the legitimate thing. Where our engineers have gone through this and said, yeah, this is how we would teach it, or something like that.
Yeah.
For it to be like approved by the general public, right? By tertiary, by whoever, educators, like academics. Like that's something that definitely could see happening, if not already. Right.
Yeah, I agree. Definitely agree.
And in this last piece of news for March week 1, 2022, we're talking about Lost Ark. In specifics, Lost Ark and microtransactions. So Dexerto has recently published an article talking about Shroud and the amount of money he's spent on Lost Ark's microtransactions. And we can see here that it is been over $2,000 on Lost Ark. I don't know
what's USD as well.
It'd be USD as well, yeah. So that's a decent amount of money to spend on a game that is technically free to play. What are your thoughts on this, Huddo? Like, I don't know if you've played Lost Ark or you've got a feeling around what's happening on Lost Ark's, ecosystem.
I haven't played it, but I've definitely seen it.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's hard for me to have an opinion on this because I've definitely spent more money than that on RuneScape over the
Yeah.
years.
Yeah.
So it's hard for me, man. We used to buy these little buy these keys and open crates, and you'd get like stuff that would kind of help you boost your XP levels and help you boost stuff like that. And it is hard for me to I guess comment on it in a positive or negative way, because everybody's in their own position, and like if you have the money to do it, then like who cares? But on the same point of that is like is it getting to a point where it is bad for a game to have this in, because the only way you can progress to like a certain level is through paying? I feel like for me I don't really mind. Like if I didn't want to spend money on it, I didn't have to. I could have got all those things and probably felt better about myself and better about the journey and the grind of getting these 99s without having to do it. But I kind of just wanted them. And over time I would buy keys and do it, and that's kind of what helped me get a few of these levels that I had. So I didn't personally mind doing it. So I think it's good to have an option. Like I think it's good to have the option there, but then I guess it comes back to the point of like even RuneScape, Lost Ark, and a lot of other games now where you can buy in-game gold, like legally, not illegally. So yeah, I don't know. It's a weird one for me because I personally don't really care. But then I do also understand on the other point, on the other side of it, is that people don't really like to see this sort of stuff happening. It ruins their game. It allows people to just like boost their levels or boost their gear crazy, and it's kind of hard to keep up. But I guess game companies kind of have to continue to make money as well, I guess. So if you look at it from that point, you can understand both sides. So I'm on the fence with this one. I don't really see it as a problem, but I can also understand where some people do see it as a problem.
Yeah, I agree 100%. And I think there's a big differentiation between, free-to-play games that have microtransactions in them that give you in-game benefits that if people that don't pay miss out on, or like takes them 10 times as long to get there, right? For Fortnite's freemium model to me is fair. Like you actually don't really have any real benefits from purchasing Battle Pass besides aesthetic. If you pay for something that's aesthetic, to me that's a fair model. If you pay for something that has like XP bonuses or gold injection or something to increase your in-game status on top of another player, that's where it gets really gray for me. It's like, I understand you give them the option that they'll most likely pay or will have to pay because someone else has. So that kind of scarcity model works really well, and abundance model for those that have capital. It works really well for businesses and organizations. I think CSGO does this pretty well with skins as well. Like, you're paying for things to look cool. You're not really paying for XP bonuses. It's not going to be affecting your level or your skill base. With things like Lost Ark, I find it sometimes difficult because if you as a player spend hours in this game, and two people spend 300 hours in this game, but one has spent $500 on top of the 300 hours, the person that spent the $500 will most likely be ahead, right?
Yeah.
Not in terms of skill base, not in terms of anything else, but just because they've paid the $500, they're going to be ahead. That doesn't mean that, if I haven't paid, I'm not going to be better than the person that has from a PvP, player versus player perspective. But there's still I feel like an imbalance there.
Yeah.
And then it forces me as the player that doesn't pay to have to consider, do I grind the extra 250 hours to get to that level, or do I pay $500 to bypass that time? Right. And most of the time people will just pay because it's quicker for you to get the progression to get there. Right. That's where I see that happening. So I'm not sure. I just get a sour taste in my mouth when I have to pay to catch up.
Yeah.
I don't. Yeah. I'd rather be able to be competitive without having to fork up thousands of dollars that other people are. Hundreds of dollars even, it's not even that much sometimes. Because I think for me, it's like everyone should be on a level playing field, and then it's all it's a very skill based options as opposed to like paying to be in front.
Yeah.
As opposed, like that's where I find some difficulty.
That's even a lot of like, a lot of the Asian like kind of mobile games, they're heavily pay to win, and they're like pretty much like, if you don't have $10,000 to drop, like don't even start playing the game. Like you just won't have fun. Clash of Clans, pretty good example, I think. I don't really know too much about it, but I do understand you can pay in that, and you can pay to win in a way. And if you start off and you're trying to build your little clan base, just by yourself, then someone comes in and just rolls your whole village, see you later, because they've just spent a couple of $1,000. Like that'll probably turn you away pretty quickly. So,
100%. Like you buy shields for 3-day shields or 7-day shields, or those timers that increase your build time or like decrease your build time, like that, all of that type of thing. I understand the model because it works, right? People will pay, but it just like it's very extractive. Like I don't get enjoyment of just spending the money to keep up. I'd rather just play everyone on the same playing level field, and then it's like a skill based option. Like I know I'm better than that, but that's why I like Rocket League a lot. I think it's all aesthetic.
Just cosmetic,
it's all skill. It's all cosmetic, right? And I just play because I enjoy it and because I know I can get better. And if someone was to pay and they get 10% more boost in game when they play because they've got this item that they've paid for, like that would ruin the entire experience. That's how I kind of feel about sometimes when you've got these freemium models where you pay for more stuff in game that you are then technically better than someone else.
Yeah. No, I agree. I understand, definitely.
So this has been week 1, March 2022. I'm Nick from Go2Game. This is Jack, head of Go2Game.
So the question of the day is in regards to nostalgia. Do you think you would have the same nostalgia as if you watched someone play the game than if you would actually play the game yourself? Let us know in the comments below.